Welcome back to James Take. It's been a hot minute since the last time we talked, and that's because what it felt like to me is we were in an AI winter. There just really hasn't been a lot of updates that have been coming out to AI that have been interesting in the slightest. So I just kind of sat there and not done anything until I realized, hey, what do you know? A bunch of new releases just came out. We've had GPT Zero drop. We've had Sam Altman finally get rid of people who had titles but absolutely no power. And we've had now the deep integration between AI and the operating system that I always knew was coming. It just wasn't readily available yet, though you could clearly see that it was coming when Microsoft first integrated AI into its operating system. And it's important because if you want AI to do work, a lot of key things needed to happen. One is that LLMs, though great for creating text, really needed to go through transformation to be more useful. And one of the transformations they went through earlier this year was the fusion of AI's original purpose, which was identifying objects in video as to what they really are, into multimodal, where that was combined with text to create a multimodal model where it could understand video, it could understand audio, it could understand text, and it could process all these things at a speed that was actually useful. And on top of that, we also really needed context windows to increase, because even at 28,000 tokens, that really wasn't that much when you're dealing with absolutely massive data sets. And for AI to really be useful, you really needed to be able to process absolutely massive data sets natively, not necessarily in a vector database where, yeah, it could pre-process the relationship of everything else to everything else, but that didn't really help with a generalized AI agent as it helped more with a specific AI agent where you had customized knowledge for that AI agent. And on AI agents, we're going to see an explosion of them coming out already, just simply because as more GPTs get released into the wild, they could be referenced by a primary GPT, and then they could talk to each other. You could have conversations. All this is coming to where you will get to a point where you can have, a CEO AI that you talk to, and then it goes out to, the business manager. The business manager starts calculating a rough cost about what a project or an idea would take to turn in reality. And then, a certain budget is set by that, and that's farmed out to the operations specialist, who then comes up with the list of items that a programmer AI can then work on, say like a Devon, open source Devon, and then that could work on solving things and bug testing and creation of the program up until its budget limit, and then it could report back how much progress it can make, and all that could be handled just by agents, and that's coming soon. But we had to have some key things coming there. One of them was the token limit. Now, we had Google's Gemini talk about 1 million token limit in and 1 million token limit out. Now, that's kind of expensive at the moment to do, but if the prices continue to go the way that they're going, which is a decrease in prices, and we see the context windows get bigger and bigger and bigger, and the amount of tokens that an AI could handle, then the unusual problems that we have with prompts, say, where it puts more weight at the beginning of a prompt and the end of a prompt, and stuff in the middle of a prompt tends to get glossed over by the AI. With larger context windows, it kind of treats everything as like the beginning of a prompt. So you get far more useful work out of it. And so when you tie that into an operating system, whereby that operating system needs to perform work, where it's dealing with files of different sizes with vast amount of text, the multimodal model needs to be able to take that file in, process it, work on it, create reports, move data around, be creative with that, generate an output, and store it in a file system. And Microsoft clearly sees that goal. Just the way they're going about it is a tie-in between a live service that you pay for and some level of local processing via the NPU. Now, that's a little different from, say, Apple's approach, which they really want everything to happen on device. And in some ways that does give you an advantage, provided you have enough memory in your Apple device to run these 13 billion parameter models, which do require a lot of memory. And that's where I think Apple really excels, because they have that unified architecture. All that RAM that you buy, so if you buy a 128 gigabyte RAM MacBook, all 128 gigabytes can be allocated to the GPU to perform work. If you were going to get the same level, you would be talking about multiple thousands of dollars just for one single GPU in a computer. But with the M series, you'd be able to just get that right on device. And I fully expect the next Apple announcement to really dive deep into local AI running on their hardware. And I fully suspect going forward that most AI enthusiasts will be picking up Apple as opposed to Microsoft, because even though it has the NPU on board, it just doesn't have the RAM to use these LLMs or multimodal models without quantizing down. So we talked about Microsoft and OpenAI's deepening partnership. We talked about AI being deeply integrated into the operating system. We talked about the end of the AI winter and the increasing context limits. So where do I see this going? Where do I see it going? Well, I see a lot of opportunities in the machine learning automation space for people who are trying to solve problems in the real world. They can apply their automation capabilities with AI to achieve a lot of goals. I see a lot of potential in that front. So keep your ears and eyes out for more James Take coming up in your newsfeed soon. Catch you later.